down for a meal and conversation. All are invited to the table to hear the message of inspiration and hope from small business owners across the country as we celebrate diversity in culture and cuisine. Welcome to Food COMA, Conversations Over Meals in America, hosted by Cynthia McAllister.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Food COMA, Conversations Over Meals in America. I am your host, Cynthia McAllister, and I'm here with a lovely, lovely guest, Miss Stephanie Rousseau.
Hi.
So, Stephanie, oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell you about Stephanie. She's what we call a multiple newer. Not an entrepreneur, but a multiple newer, okay? I don't know if that's a term, but that's what I would describe her as. And today, we're going to try her fantastic, delicious pound cake, okay? All right, so let me go ahead. You know, we always like to start with the food.
Yes.
I'm going to dig in, okay? I'm not going to take any
piece with you.
time away from this. This is so delicious. Oh my gosh, do you see this? Do you see how the Oh my goodness. Okay. This is so good. I'm trying to describe it to everyone. Okay, so you know pound cake, a typical pound cake is nice and moist and delicious, right? She took it up a notch, okay? Imagine that. She took it up a notch, but this is so, I could taste the vanilla. I could taste the moist texture of it. It melts in your mouth. Can that happen with a pound cake?
You do it the right way.
It's like butter, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Stephanie, you have to tell us about the pound cake. Why did you decide to choose this? And go ahead, start with that.
Okay, well first, thank you. It's an honor to be here. And so we just thank you for the invite and to be part of this great show. But I started baking when I was about 5 years old. Baking and cooking. So I love baking and cooking, which is kind of unique, in the kitchen with my grandmother. But what I loved about it, Cynthia, is not just learning how to cook and bake, is the conversations that we had. We talked about life in general. We talked about God. And so the woman that I am came from cooking and baking and those conversations from my grandmother, Scotty D.
Oh, wow. And speaking of D, this is Delicious Pound Cake, which is your business.
Yes.
Let's hear a little bit more about your business, Delicious Pound Cakes.
Yes, the business is named in honor of my grandmother, in memory of her, Scotty D. Green, and A Taste from Heaven. Mm-hmm. And so I got started. For years, people have always raved over my pound cakes.
Oh, yes.
And my cooking. And whenever I would invite them to my home, the first question that they would have before they accepted the invitation is, are you going to cook and bake? And so when I would say yes, they would come. Also, just serving the cakes at church. It was really requested for repasts, for anniversary programs and things like that. But I started noticing they weren't putting them out. They would ask me to make one.
Huh.
And then when people would say, where's Sister Rousseau's cake? And it said, it's all gone. And we found out that, sometimes it wasn't gone. It was still in the back.
Oh, so they hid it for themselves. That's what was happening.
I'm not going to say
Okay.
what they did, but I know it wasn't served. And so when I started noticing that, and then just a request for when I invited people over and they would ask for them. And then when my grandmother, I saw how when she would cook and she would bake and people had requests for her as well. So just coming from there, I had people who would ask me to start a catering or a restaurant or a bakery. And that was for about 40 years.
Oh my.
But one of the things that I would say is I don't do anything without praying first. Mm-hmm. And so I heard from God in December of 2019. Mm-hmm. And he said to move forward, but move forward with an online bakery. So we're an online bakery.
Yes.
We're not a brick and mortar.
Yes.
Didn't know much about an online bakery at that time. Mm-hmm. So I had to do my research. And when I did, I posted on Facebook, which I got my Facebook from Quality SAP.
All right. Quality SAP right here, our
Quality
sponsor.
SAP, yes. And it was never on Facebook, and so I got that. And then my first post is, with guidance from God, I'm
Yes.
stepping out on faith.
Yes.
For those of you who've asked, when am I going to start a bakery, it's today.
Oh, wow. That is such an inspirational story. And then the part about your grandmother inspiring you.
Yes.
I mean, I can imagine, the stories that you have with your relationship with her and what you learned from her. And I think it's really an honor for you to be able to name your business after her. So that's fantastic.
Yes, and not only just the relationship with her, but the relationship with God. Her
Yes.
introducing me to God. So our tagline is a taste from heaven.
Oh, right.
Because it came from God, and it came from the inspiration from her as well.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, now I talked you up as a multiple entrepreneur.
Yes.
So I'd like to hear a little bit about some of the other businesses that you have, and go ahead and share some of that.
Sure. So we have two other businesses, and one is an independent credit card processing company. We're a premier credit card processing company. We're located in Mason, Ohio, and so we can help business owners to be set up to receive credit card processing as a method of payment, and also to have consumer financing, and we're in all 50 states with that.
Yes.
And then I help business owners to reduce their fixed expenses on their essential services, and even home individuals as well. If they want to reduce their fixed expenses, I can help them to do that, and also to earn another stream of income off of those services. And so with that business, I like to say, I can help you to live your dreams out loud.
Nice. And the name of those businesses?
The name of those businesses is Cincy Paper Tech for the other one, and the other one is JAJ Residential and Commercial Services.
Yes. And as always, we will have all of Stephanie's information during the show, so you'll find that information out as well. Now, we know that being an entrepreneur is hard, a business owner is hard. So why did you decide to go that route and become a business owner?
Okay, so the reason I decided to go that route, as I stated, listening to God. When He gave me the word to move forward, I was getting a lot of requests for my cakes and for my desserts. I don't just do cakes, but I do pies, other desserts and everything. But when I heard from Him to say only the pound cakes, and then what's unique about our business is we make pound cakes homemade from scratch in 3 flavors.
Yes.
Sour cream, cream cheese, and chocolate, but we do them in designs. So we do it in the shape of a house, a shape of a heart, the shape of a 3-tiered heart, and the shape of a rose.
Ooh, beautiful.
So,
yes.
And so with the request, they were starting to get so many that, it's expensive to start making cakes for all the requests. And so once I heard from God to say you can move forward for profit, that's why I did. And I took the necessary steps. I became a licensed baker.
Yeah.
I created an LLC. I got my team together as far as legal, insurance, accounting, marketing.
Yes. She has a great marketing team.
I sure do. Quality SAT. And I became a key spot business partner because I know in order to do this and do it as a business, you're going to need a team to work with you. And so I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one of the things you noted is one of the shapes is a house.
Yes.
Real estate. Oh
Yes.
man, that's a huge market right now. I bet you all of those realtors out there who are trying to give that special gift to those new homeowners or for the closing events, man, that would be a perfect gift.
Well, and we are doing that. We are partnering with some realtors. So if you check out our Facebook page, we have some realtors on there who are doing just that. They are getting the cakes, and you don't have to just get them in the shape of a house. I had one realtor who said, you know what, I like the rose. And I'm going, that is fine. And so we have partnered with some realtors. We're hoping to do some home builders as well.
Wow.
And our people who are in a title company, just the real estate industry. I had a real estate investor who sent a cake to his crew because he wanted to thank them for the hard work. And we have shipped them right now. We are shipping to 11 states.
Yeah.
So it's not just here in Ohio, even though we're located in Ohio, but since we're an online bakery, we can ship anywhere. Yeah. And what they have loved about it, and even we had some businesses who have given them as appreciation gifts to their employees or prospective clients. And they have loved the presentation of the cake when it's presented to their clients. And they have thanked me for that, and which was really kind of unusual. I have had some of the recipients of the cake who have called me because we put a card in there with our contact information, and they have called me and said, hey, I never heard of your company before, but I got this on my door. And when I opened it up, the presentation of it, the aroma, the the artistry of the cake, that they loved it. And so they called me thanking me.
Oh, wow. That's so nice. What a compliment to you and your business.
Yes. And so, I appreciated it. And I said, well, thank you so much. But remember, I'm the vendor. So I thank you for your compliment. But please don't forget to contact the person who bought the cake and sent the cake to you.
Yeah.
And so one of the things we do in that, as far as the realtors and business owners, is we can enclose a handwritten card.
Yes.
And we can enclose their business card, and we have done that, and sent a nice note. So yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I tell you, Miss Stephanie, she's all over there and giving her wonderful, delicious cakes out to the world. So if you haven't tried it, you have to. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more of Stephanie Rousseau from Delicious Pound Cakes.
Mm-hmm.
We're back with more Food COMA Conversations Over Meals in America, sponsored by KeySpot by Quality SAP. And I'm your host, Cynthia McAllister. I'm here with Stephanie Rousseau.
Yes.
She's the owner of Delicious Pound Cakes. Now, Stephanie, I'd like you to share a testimonial of how you have overcome challenging times.
Yes, and as I mentioned, we opened our business, Delicious Pound Cakes, A Taste from Heaven, in January of 2020. Mm-hmm. And so we did a vendor's fair with KeySpot. I'm a KeySpot business partner, and we did a vendor's fair in February of 2020. Mm-hmm. And I got to meet some people who I had never seen before, and that was great to introduce our cake business to them. But in March of 2020, we were hit with a pandemic.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yes, and so first I want to extend my heartfelt condolences and sincere thoughts to those who have lost a loved one during the pandemic time, because I know this has been a trying time for all. So my heart goes out to you. But during that time, with the unknown, we ended up shutting our business down. Yeah. And if you can imagine the investment that we had made, and then we had to turn around and shut it down just in a matter of weeks. But then what we did is just only baked with those who we knew. But then in October, we had a lot of requests because the holidays were coming up. And people were saying, are you still open? I haven't heard from you. And so what we did is we ended up opening back up, but we had to do things differently. With COVID, during that time, the vaccine had become available. And at that time, that was first priority as far as shipping. And so we ran into some problems there with shipping, especially to the West Coast. And so what I did, because my item is perishable, so I had to airship some of my cakes to the West Coast, which was costly, but I wanted to make sure that my clients got their cakes, in a timely manner so they can have them for the holidays. So those are some of the things that we did to ensure that our clients got the cakes, and which they really loved that because they were buying them for gifts. And in talking, I'm partnered with UPS for shipping, but in talking with them, and they're a great partner, they shared with us that there was nothing that they can do. If you recall, during that time, the holiday times in 2020, even for holiday gifts, those were put on hold because the vaccine was first and foremost to get that out. So that was a challenge that we had to overcome. We had to look and in consultation with my partner at UPS, we had to come up with some things that we had to do and change shipping in to ensure that our cakes got there in 48 hours or less.
Yeah. So what you just called out is when you have challenges, you have to make adjustments.
You do.
You have to find another way.
Yes.
And it sounds like you did. And
Yes.
your priority was the customer. Your
Yes.
priority was making sure that they got their cake and it was satisfied with the product.
Yes.
So
and
that's
I didn't
really
pass that
important.
on to them.
Mhm.
You know, it was very expensive to ship to the West Coast, but I love that they found me. You know, right now we're on Etsy, and we've had success on Etsy because between October 2020 and December 2020, we ended up shipping to over 11 states.
And that's amazing. And you're
Yes.
gonna and the thing is, I just want to make sure people know you're not limited to 12 states. That's just
No.
where you've shipped
That's
so
where
far.
I've shipped so far.
You can ship to as many states as you want.
Yes, we just went to a new state, DC.
Yeah.
So Washington, DC. So we're excited about that. And now because of the success that we're having, we're in the process of building a new website.
That's right.
So we just accepted a proposal from Quality SAP,
yes.
which is the parent company for Key Spot, and we had some great proposals that came forward, and we had a committee that we put together, and I'm proud to say that with the committee that we put together, that Quality SAP was awarded that proposal based on the efforts and everything they put together. So if you're looking for someone to develop your website, look at the parent company of Key Spot.
Thank you for that, Stephanie. And just to kind of reiterate what she was saying is, Quality SAP was in competition with other people. It was not a biased choice.
No, it was
so there was actually a lot of work put in, and we appreciate that. So
Yes.
speaking of Quality SAP and KeySpot, as you mentioned, you are a KeySpot business partner. Share a little bit how KeySpot has supported your business.
Yes, and I want to say I'm a Key Spot business partner of two of my businesses.
That is true.
The Scentsy Pay Protect and Delicious Pound Cakes. And how it has supported my business is that fair that I talked about, the vendors fair, that was a Key Spot business partners business fair that I got introduced to other business partners there and to customers that I would not have an opportunity to meet at that time. Also, as I mentioned, they were doing my website. They also created my Facebook page and Instagram page as well. That's not my comfort zone. So I stay in my lane.
Yeah.
I'm a baker. I'm not a marketer. And so getting on there and being trained of how to use it. Also, there are networking opportunities as a Key Spot business partner. Once a month, we have an opportunity to get on a webinar. And on that webinar, I have met clients. I have met businesses to collaborate with, to do some of my shipping supplies and make some of my, I did a pot holder, and I collaborated with a business owner who's a Key Spot business partner. And we've also discussed some challenges that we have. And so you meet people who you can network with, who you can mentor, and who you can collaborate with.
Yeah.
So, but it's all through Key Spot.
That's
you.
fantastic, and we are so thankful to have you as our KeySpot business partner.
you.
So thank you, Stephanie, for all that you do to help and to share with other people.
Yes.
So, I know that there must be some inspirations you have. So what are two people in business that inspire you?
Okay, the first person that's true to my heart and who has inspired me is not a business owner,
Okay.
and it's my grandmother.
Yes.
And she inspired me because when she cooked and when she baked, she did it with love.
Yeah.
And even though she had the request to sell her pies and cakes, she didn't do it as a business. She just thought, why would anybody want to buy my pies and cakes or desserts when they can go to a bakery? But she didn't know it tasted better than a bakery. And so
she was modest.
and she would only sell them for $5 because she just thought, why do they want this?
Mm-hmm.
And so she would just say, just give me $5. Mm-hmm. She was a seamstress and she did those things. So she inspired me because even though she didn't graduate from high school, she had 2 homes. She took care of 2 homes. And she ran those like a business.
Okay.
Because she was able to take care of those. She was able to have enough food that if you came over, she had enough food for you to eat. So she inspired me, one, by showing me her love and trust and faith in God. So that inspired me. The second person is someone who is on a national level, and that is Patty.
Oh, yes. Miss Patty Labelle. Yeah.
Yes, and what I love about Patty is the same kind of with my grandmother. She does multiple things, like I do.
Right.
So Patty, everyone knows her as a singer. But for years, Patty cooked, and she did on the side. She didn't go to restaurants. She would bring out her pots and pans, and she would cook. And I did that when I was in the dorms. When we stayed and I stayed in the dorms at college, I had an electric skillet, and I could bake, fry, cook, and everything in that electric skillet.
Right.
And everyone came over to my room to eat.
Oh, they know where to go.
Now, I don't sing like Patty,
Uh-huh.
but I could cook and everything. And so Patty did that, and then Patty, late in her years, she started selling her pies. We hear about the sweet potato pies. Now she's doing cobblers. She's doing food. So she, like myself, loves to cook and bake. And so now she is coming out with her own line of food that is frozen food. She's doing linens. She's doing candles. She's doing so many things that she just using her passion and her love for what she likes to do, and she turns it for profit. And that's just what I'm doing too, is stepping out on faith.
Yes.
And if you know Patty, she stepped out on faith. She has a great relationship with God as well.
Well, sounds like a future connection.
I would love
Miss
to meet
Patty
her.
Labelle, we will be reaching out to you.
Oh, that would be a dream come true.
Yes, so we will take another quick break and come back with more of Stephanie Rousseau from Delicious Pound Cakes. Welcome back to more of Food COMA, and again we're here with Miss Stephanie Rousseau from Delicious Pound Cakes. So Stephanie, I have to ask you the question, where do you see yourself in the future for your business?
Yes, so where I see myself with Delicious Pound Cakes, as I mentioned, is I would love to collaborate with more people in the real estate business, in the real estate industry, whether they are a realtor, real estate investor, or home builders. Also, alternative wedding cakes. I have had individuals who did not want the traditional wedding cake. As I mentioned, we make the cakes in the shape of a heart. We also do them in the shape of a rose. And so I have had people who have requested them for anniversaries, for bridal showers, baby showers, and things like that. And then collaborating with corporations who want to be able to give a gift, appreciation gift to their employees, or a gift to prospective clients. In another area, untapped territory of all of these things that I'm naming, is to give them as a sympathy gift. Instead of sending flowers, what I did is I sent a cake to someone who had lost her husband, and I did the 3-tiered cake, put a scripture in there, put a note card, handwritten card. And when they received it, again, they loved the presentation of the cake.
Yes.
They said when they opened it, the elegance and the artistry of the cake made them look at it, brought tears to their eyes, and they didn't want to come until the aroma hit them.
And they're like, oh, this is too good
so
to
then they
waste.
said, okay, so we're going to eat it. And so when I followed up with a phone call, they got very teary, on the phone and said, thank you so much. I really enjoyed this. My family enjoyed it. I'd rather have received this than flowers any day.
Yeah.
We had a loved one who, one of their friends lost a son, and he was in his early 30s. And so they had bought a 3-tiered heart and a single heart, and we sent that. And during that time of comfort, it reminded them of their grandmother, who may not have been here, but they felt that now we have this part with us. And so they save the 3-tiered heart, because like I said, they save that to serve at home, and then they serve the single heart at the repast. I had someone who lost their mother, and the first holiday came up after their mother had passed, and they ordered a cake. and she contacted me and with tears and said, "Thank you so much. I felt her presence, through the cake." So I feel like we're touching people's heart. You heard like soul food is like feeding their soul, and so we're doing that. I had a 83-year-old gentleman who ate a piece of the cake, and he said, "Who made that cake?" And he came in and he said, "That reminded me of when I was a little boy in Mississippi, sitting on the front porch barefooted."
Yeah.
So it's bringing back those memories of what they have experienced. And so if they have lost a loved one who have cooked or baked, and they still want to kind of capture that moment, it's allowing them to do that. So to step into sympathy, that people would order the cake instead of flowers, so they can have that memory, alternative weddings, and birthdays, that I want them to understand that a pound cake can be served any time of the year,
Right.
and for any occasion. If you have an open house, a ribbon cutting, to think of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, as I mentioned, we're so happy to have you as a Key Spot business partner for your businesses. Can you share to the audience, why would you recommend Key Spot?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, marketing, that's not my lane. And so the support that I have gotten from Key Spot and Quality SAP, which is the parent company, is Key Spot has given me the opportunity of exposure. Being a Key Spot business partner is how I got an invitation to be on this show.
That's true.
Which is exposure and putting my business out there. Being a Key Spot business partner, it's an app that you can download on your phone. And so if someone is searching for your business, I have the opportunity that even though I'm here in Ohio, through that app, I'm advertising in Georgia.
Yes.
And so people can find me there when they're searching for pound cakes. Or desserts. They can find me on that app and they can support my business. And I too can find business owners that I'm looking for on this app. If you try to get an app yourself, it's going to be very expensive. And then if you like me, that's not my lane, as I keep saying. But if you can hire someone who's a professional who can help you with that, give you opportunities, there are networking opportunities that Key Spot puts on, that again will give you diverse business owners to connect, network with, and to collaborate with. And so it's just on and on different things that they can do. As a Key Spot business partner, I am so glad that I contacted Miss Cynthia and said, I know about Key Spot, but with Quality SAP, do you do website development as well? And she said, yes.
Yes.
So I'm so glad I did.
And mobile apps.
Yes. So I'm so glad I contacted her because, as I mentioned, right now we're on Etsy. But due to the success of the company, we are moving to our own website. And so that should be coming up here in a few weeks. And Quality SAP is developing that website for us. So stay tuned. We're going to have a beautiful website. And this is hot off the press.
Uh-oh.
We're going to have a new design that I am working on. It's going to not be a shape of a house or anything like that, but it's going to be like a traditional bundt, but an elegant bundt cake.
Ooh, I look forward to that.
Yes,
So
and we're
that's
going to be
wonderful.
selling our mini pound cakes. We have gotten requests for those as well. Those are the cakes that you see that people have been sampling. I have asked people have asked me, can I buy those little cakes? And I'm like, no, this is what I give out as samples. And they always say it's a generous sample. So now we are going to sell those in sets of 4.
Okay.
Not individuals, but in sets of 4. You will be able to order those when the website is up and running. You're going to see a new design. And you're going to be able to purchase the mini pound cakes as well.
Oh, so many exciting things happening with
Yes,
you, Stephanie.
yes.
And delicious pound cake. So as I said, the pound cake is delicious. And everyone should go ahead and pick up their order. We'll have the contact information available. And I just want to thank my guest again, Miss Stephanie Rousseau from Delicious Pound Cakes and Cincy Pay Protect and all the businesses that you do for being here on Food COMA Conversations Over Meals in America. I'm your host, Cynthia McAllister, and what we'll do is we'll provide her information throughout the show, and then we will also just share the ingredients, but you can be able to place your order. So thank you for joining Food COMA, and see you for the next episode.
And thank you for inviting us to be on here. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much, Cynthia.
Oh, you're welcome, Stephanie. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.